Hey, I'm Sean J. Cross, and today we're going to be using Dehancer, a film emulation plugin, to do 3 quick filmic looks using Adobe Premiere Pro. This isn't sponsored. They actually just recently reached out to me to review the plugin, and so here we are. Here's Adobe Premiere. I recently went on a trip to the happiest place on earth with my girlfriend. When I think about Disneyland, I think about the 50s, classic Hollywood, black and white. So kind of using that direction, we'll do a black and white, a color daytime look, and then a color nighttime look. I'm gonna do a black and white look here. I've already installed Dehancer into my effects, drag and drop. You can either do that or you can just apply it to an adjustment layer on top of the clip. We're gonna go into our input. You can see right away the source is Rec 709. What I've used in the past is Cineon Film Log, which is another kind of container that holds visual data. The film profile it's modeling itself after is Kodak Vision 3 250D. Clicking this drop-down menu, you can see how many looks there are. Anything from Kodak to Fuji, Cinestill, Ilford. Let's do Kodak Eastman XX. Cool. I just want to get rid of the saturation, to be honest. Under print, I'm just going to go from 100 to 0. Let's play it. Not bad. Feeling a little bit bright for me, so I'm going to do some work here. Let's correct the gamma. You'll see that middle area. Nothing is happening. We'll come back to Film Developer. I actually want to use exposure first. EV exposure. Let's bring it down. No saturation and lower exposure. We've done a lot there. Total contrast. Bring out some of that black and shadow detail. Film compression. So let me hit enable. It compressed the brightest part of the image. Let's do 75 there. And expand, we can kind of target the black and white points even further. Kind of like where it's sitting. No, I'm gonna leave it as is. Color head. If we had our image saturated, this would do a lot more, but as you can see right now, it just modifies the tone a little bit. Now here comes some of the fun parts. Film grain. Automatically 35mm ISO 250 was enabled. I'm gonna disable it, and you can see how much cleaner the image is now because it's disabled. If you want that good stuff, enable. Let's try 16mm. That went crazy on the grain. We're gonna customize it a little bit. I am going to change the size so that the grain is smaller. You can see it affect different shadows if I change this. That just added a lot more to the shadows. And with it added to the highlights, it kind of just brings it all together. Halation and bloom. Let's go into mask mode. That way we can actually see what the plugin is doing. I don't see anything occurring. Oh, there we go. Let me go out of mask mode. Now you can see how much that did. Lower the impact, bring our global diffusion down. You should see bloom affect the image a lot more. Film damage, Super 8 film. Check that out. I prefer 35mm. A couple more things we can do here. Film breadth. You'll notice that the shadows there are getting brighter and darker. Gate weave. I'm not sure about the technicalities on gate weave, to be honest, but it looks like it zooms in a little bit. Overscan. You can see it looks like a little film reel. Overscan is basically when information outside of the filmed image is included, so it's like the actual physical piece of film. I like the look of the Super 8 overscan. You know what, if we're doing Super 8, I'm gonna go back. Film damage, for example, we'll do 8mm, and that to me feels even more cohesive. Enable vignetting. I feel like Super 8 probably has less contrast than this. Back to our contrast boost. I'm gonna make it more faded. Now, if we go here to our output, if we go back to 0, that's our original log image. Make it stronger, 100, and there it is. That is a black and white filmic look. Not bad. All right, let's go into our second look here. Let's color this Astro Orbiter. I'm not gonna do Cineon Film Log. I'm actually gonna stick to the Rec 709 standard, and you'll see that it's a pretty cold image straight out the gate. We'll come into our temperature, warm it up. Tint, I want to add more magenta in there. We'll go into our film profile here. Kodak Portra, Kodak Gold, Fuji. I'm gonna aim for kind of a balanced color look. 250D was kind of nice. I'm gonna go back up here to our temperature because it's feeling cold. Let's rock with that. Film developer, let's get more contrast in there. Gamma correction, color boost. I want more color. Boom, look at that, so colorful. Let's play it and see what we're working with so far. Woo! Film compression. See the whites, especially in these balls. Let's give it a little bit more contrast now. 35. Oh, 100, oopsie. 45. Expand. Make the black point 15. Nope, too much. 5. Something about it isn't sitting right yet. Print. Okay. Exposure. I'm gonna go a little bit under what we're at right now. Tonal contrast. Let's go -5 and pull it instead of push it. because I wanted to raise those blacks. With less contrast and a little bit more warmth in those shadows, we've gotten more of a filmic image, in my opinion. Color density. You'll see that we've added some vibrance. All right, color head. Here's where we can do some more customization with the color itself. Yellow, blue. I'm gonna park it at -1. Magentas and greens. I'm gonna leave it as is. Cyan and red. -3. Sure. I wanna make it warmer because at the time of day that I shot this at, it was getting close to golden hour, or pretty much golden hour, so I want to replicate that. Shadow tones, we're going to add more warmth in there. As such, midtones, same for that. Just a touch more. Highlight tones, more warmth. Because we added more warmth, I also want to add a little bit more pink because I feel like some green is kind of hidden in the shadows and midtones here. Nice. All right, same situation here with the film grain. I'm going to do 35 ISO 250 halation, and that is pretty damn cool. Bloom. Let's do 8mm this time. Look at that. The happiest place on earth. Film damage here, so we can stick with 35, and I think that'll put us in a good spot. Film breath, I'm gonna stick with 35. Overscan, super 35. I am going to offset it just a little bit so I can get my crop more centered. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's pretty centered. Gate defocus. Oh, I did not see that before. So you'll see the outside of the image is defocusing. Vignetting, you know the vibes. Ooh, look at that. Let's look at what we created for our color daytime look. Nice. Finally onto our color nighttime look. And I would be remiss if I had gone to Disneyland, filmed this footage, done this review, and not picked a clip with my girlfriend in it. Dehancer Pro. Ooh, it's already doing something saucy there. Our film profile here. Ooh, I'm gonna go with the Fuji color Natura 1600. I do want some more contrast in there, so we're gonna boost it. Gamma correction. We can go brighter or darker with the gamma. Oh, you know what I did not do actually? I'm gonna go back because I just realized you can choose the camera input. I bet y'all the whole time were like,
wait, why don't you just input your camera in the source like you do when you...
I just forgot. Okay, Sony A7S 3 S-Log 3 S-Gamut.Cine. Let's disable what we have done here. I'm gonna make it cooler. Let's get rid of some of that magenta, green. Portrait 4 is giving us a bit more of an S-curve, if you will. Push, pull. I like -2. Let's give it a little bit of contrast. Correct that gamma. I'm gonna add more color to her skin. Film compression. Got rid of some of the shine, white point, print, exposure, maybe just a -0.1. So much of this is so subjective. I need to make this larger. Let's play it. That's gonna give me a better idea. We're getting there. Mess with the saturation a little bit, do a little less. We'll go into our color head here, before, after. We're adding some more sauce to it. Film grain, automatically 35mm was enabled, and 35 ISO 500 is feeling pretty good. Halation time. Oh, you can especially see it in the bokeh of the lights up here. Oh, you can change the hue too, so that's red, and then that's going more yellow. I'm gonna do red. Bloom. Oh yeah, there's that bloom sauce. Film damage, again, 35. It's subtle enough. We'll leave it. Film breath. You'll see some breathing in the tones there. I'm gonna turn it off this time. This time I'm gonna do no overscan. Enable vignette. Keep it moving right about there. Play it. How nice. We can see what our original was here. If I go down to 0, oh my God, this is everything added. So it reminds me of when I was there and the feeling that I had when we were in that moment and wandering around the park. I really like the looks that we got here, from our first black and white look to our color daytime look, as well as our color nighttime look. Overall thoughts are that it's a pretty damn cool program. It really shined, and I loved how easy it was to use it too. I didn't have to go into Premiere's color settings at all. I mean, I could have if I wanted to spend a lot more time with it, but the plugin makes it super easy to, within 15 minutes or less, create a really cool filmic look. I can see myself using this in all areas of my work, from commercial to personal, like YouTube. It's something that you can show to a client and be like, look, I can get these different looks. I have these different film stocks, and we have the opportunity to do something really cool with our look. So maybe a client pays for it. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe another addition to Dehancer could be a bunch more film stocks. Kind of felt like anytime I would change something within the setting, it would be pretty extreme. And I wish Some of it was a little more subtle. Honestly, I've been sitting here looking for cons, and there's not many. I would say the biggest cons are maybe what I mentioned already. I don't know, it could be the price point too of the Pro version. It doesn't come cheap, so maybe if you weren't a solopreneur or a YouTuber, the Pro might be a bit much for you. Try it out. There's a trial version. It really depends on your needs, and there's different tiers for different budgets and use cases. So thank you to Dehancer for sending me the plugin to try out. If you do choose to purchase a version of it and you want to help your boy out, make sure to use code CROSS to save 10% off. I'll see you again soon.